Welcome to Streetwise, sitting down once again with Kim Vanatta. She's the Assistant Director with the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. It's always a treat to see you and always even better to hear from you and what we need to be aware of.
It's always great to be here, and we need to get our message out as much as we can. So I appreciate you letting us do this.
And that is honestly the message is for all of us to stay smart when we're out on the roadways, whether we're driving, whether we're behind that wheel, or we are a pedestrian.
Right.
How are you all continuing to work on getting this message out?
We actually started it's fairly new program called Crosswalk Talk, and we're trying to get into communities.
Okay.
So we can, example, we went to Memphis a couple of weeks ago. We go to Memphis, we talk to the pedestrians. We actually talk to them. We have a officer in a soft uniform, so he's not in his intimidating uniform. He's just in a soft uniform. We go up and we just talk to them. We're not trying to get them in trouble. We're not trying to give them a citation. We're asking them what they think the problems are. What problems are you having when you cross? Is it there aren't enough crosswalks? Do we need to work on more crosswalks? Do we need more lighting? Are the crosswalks too far apart? So we're trying to get their opinions, and we feel like if we can get them involved in the process, they'll have more buy-in. So I think that will help, and I think it has helped. And we've done this Memphis, Nashville, Chattanooga, Knoxville. Franklin has just called and they want us to go to one of their high schools in Franklin, so they want us to do it around the high school. And again, we're talking to citizens. We're not simply doing enforcement and education. We're asking them what they think they need.
What are you hearing? And is it different from like whether you're a Memphis area or Franklin? Because Franklin's a bit smaller than Memphis.
Well,
but what are you hearing?
It really is, because there are some places where the crosswalks are really far apart and they're just not going to do it. And they will be very honest. I am not walking all the way down there to cross when I can cross right here. So that's honesty. Then we run into valet parkers like at hotels. The parking lot's right across from the hotel. So it doesn't really make sense for them to take the car, walk down to the crosswalk, walk back up to the hotel. So there's one where maybe their crosswalk is needed. So we don't think about those things, and we're hearing them from the citizens, which is a good thing.
So when people ask these questions, and okay, so there's not a crosswalk, say at that spot at this time, what should we do as a pedestrian?
Well, the valet, they're going to walk straight across the street. You can look both ways for traffic there, but as a pedestrian, you are required to go down to that crosswalk. However, a little-known Tennessee law is the motorists have to yield to pedestrians, but the pedestrians can cross mid-block as long as they're not impeding traffic.
Okay.
So they need to be at a crosswalk if one is available.
And that's where a car needs to yield to you as a pedestrian?
Yes, always.
Okay.
But we're talking subjective here.
Right.
So the pedestrian may not know how fast that car's going, may not have the right judgment. The motorist, if they see a pedestrian, needs to stop. They just need to stop. It doesn't matter how fast they're walking. But if I am crossing the road and I'm looking and I see a car anywhere, I'm going to stop, wait for that car to pass. But again, we get into subjectivity and people say, well, I didn't see the car. Well, I didn't do this. Well, if you see a car, stop.
Very smart. You would think that's exactly.
Just bottom line, stop.
I do know that I have seen people, and again, I get we have different paces as individuals, but expedite your way across a crosswalk.
Absolutely.
I mean, no reason to
just amble.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go ahead and the bottom line is you need to get across the street.
Yeah.
You don't have to walk very slow. You can go. And I know a lot of them are listening to music or they're on their phones talking, so they're not paying attention to crossing. But I understand that people won't put their phones down. They just won't. But when you're crossing crosswalk, at least say, hang on a second, I got to cross the street. And then just put them on hold, walk across the street, and then you pick the phone back up if that's what you have to do.
How can we get in touch with you all at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office to come to our city? How does that work?
Well, you can go to our website, and that's tntrafficsafety.org. So that you can get to that site. It has all of our information, all of our contact information, so you can contact us using that site, and then we can get back with you that way.
The information that you're getting, what are you doing with it? Like once you hear from the residents in said area, what do you do with it at that point?
Well, then we compile all the information. And again, it's like you said, different spots may have different issues. And then Tennessee Department of Transportation, we can work with them because they are the ones that are in charge of the infrastructure. We can't do infrastructure, but we can talk to the people who can and show them the data that we have. And then we have a Titan, Tennessee Integrated Traffic Analysis Network.
Okay.
Of course, after the Titans football team. But it's data, and they have a dashboard for non-motorists. You can look at this, and it's public facing. You can see where the crashes are occurring, how old the people are, what time of day, what day of week, what season of the year. So you can look at this, see what the causes are, and we put all this information together, and we look at it and say, okay, this is where we need to be. This is who we need to target, so we can go across the state. It's phenomenal. They just now did this.
That's incredible. What are you seeing with that right now, like with the information coming in?
Well, I mean, it does. It shows us the ages. It shows us the gender. So we have all the demographics, so we can reach, example, media. I work on media too. And we have problems with males. Generally speaking, the males are the ones going to the athletic events. So we can talk to them at those athletic events if that happens to be our issue. So we just look and see where we can reach them. So the fact that we can get that data, and it's timely data now, this is what's going on, so we look at it and then we address it that way.
Is that something that's available to the public or just to?
That's actually no, it's public facing. It's on that same site. You can get to it, tntrafficsafety.org.
tntrafficsafety.org.
Yes.
That's incredible. Okay, thank you for sharing that crosswalk that the transportation office is working on now. Okay, when we come back, we're talking about shorter daylight hours, being aware with that, touching on safety tips for all of us, for drivers, and then of course, being October, we're hitting on Halloween and how to keep our trick-or-treaters safe. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
I'm Joseph Burgoyne, Chef Vanatta of the Omni Nashville Hotel. Come see us at Kitchen Notes.
You're seeing the signs too, right?
What signs?
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
He shoots, and he scores!
Hi, I'm McKenna at the Nashville Omni Hotel. Come see us at 5 and 10.
Welcome back. Streetwise today, sitting down with Kim Vanatta, the Assistant Director with the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, talking about ways that we can all stay safe on the roadways. Daytime, those hours getting much shorter.
Yes, they are.
Can I just make one suggestion for all of us? Turn on your headlights.
This is true.
Turn on your headlights.
The earlier the better,
Yes.
actually.
I've seen so many drivers recently, or so many vehicles without their headlights on, and I was almost hit because I was turning. They ran the light, but again, I didn't see that they were coming until they were like right up on me. It
Right.
was just turn on those lights.
Well, we need to be seen, and then we
True.
need to see others. And
Yes.
like you said, it's getting darker earlier. I know all of us have these cars, automatic lights. Well, guess what? You can still manually turn them on.
My husband asked me why, but I'm like, I just want to know. I know they're on if I'm turning them on.
Right, that's true.
Because you just never know. Okay, let's talk about shorter daylight hours and what we need to make sure that we're aware of and that we do.
Well, now we're using the same process as we do if the daylight hours are longer. We just have to make sure we're more careful during that time because it gets dark early when we do this daylight savings time. And sometimes we forget because it gets darker earlier. We need to make sure we're using those safety precautions even earlier. And we talked about the headlights, that's true. But we also need to wear that reflective clothing or something reflective on our bodies if we're walking at night in the dark or dusk. Dusk, people don't understand, but dusk is very dangerous. Dark is obvious, but dusk you can see or you think you can see, but you may not have the right perspective. So you need to make sure you're paying attention at dusk. And we have data that shows that time of day is an issue.
So would you say fatalities go up in the fall and winter time?
Yes, they do. And then I'll go back to the data, 6 o'clock p.m. during this time when the daylight savings occurs, that's the peak hour, and that's when it starts getting dark. So really have to pay attention to that. I talk about the reflective gear, but also not wearing all black at night. People do that, but you have a phone in your hands all the time. Turn the flashlight on the phone, and that way you can be seen when you're crossing. Bicyclists, the same thing. They should have reflective gear on their helmets, on the bike, so motorists can see them. But they also have a responsibility to look for these motorists. We just talk about they may not have their headlights on. Well, if we can't see them, then we're going to get hit too. So it's a team. You have to be a team with the bicyclist, the pedestrian, the scooter, the car. All of us have to be a team.
We don't know our teammates, but we are a team. What about for us when we're walking our dog? Should we get lights for our pets when we're taking them out?
Actually, I have seen that recently. My daughter lives in a neighborhood, and I was driving through there, and he had like a vest on, a reflective vest, like you see construction workers on the side of the road. He had a reflective vest, and he was walking. Very obvious to see the dog. But when you're walking your dog, you need to stay out of the street. You need to be on the sidewalks, or I would even walk as a pedestrian facing traffic. I would walk in that dirt up above because dogs are sometimes hard to control. So you don't want to take any chances with your pets.
And what about when you're walking with your kids? I know, need to be holding their hands, but and I've heard this, should you keep your child on the inside of you? So like say if something is coming off that road, you're kind of that barrier between you and the kid.
Absolutely, that is such a good point. Yes,
Okay.
Even your kids, maybe somebody older than you, somebody who needs some help. Yes, you walk closest to the street. Keep them you're kind of a shield for them. So yes, definitely.
Talk to us about impaired driving and walking or walking.
Well, the impaired driving we've been working on forever, and it's can be alcohol, it can be prescription drugs, anything that causes your perspective to go.
And that includes being tired.
Yeah, tired, definitely. That is a form of impairment, fatigue. So yes, if you're tired, you pull over, you take a break. So we have the impaired drivers, motorists trying to get them off the road. But now we have the impaired pedestrians who, and this is increasing, and they're impaired, they're trying to get home, and they want to walk. And we mention that to them, they say, okay, you tell us we can't drive, now you're telling us we can't walk. I said, but you could get a ride share. You definitely could get a ride share. And again, you party with the plan, always. So you have someone that is sober walking with you, just like you have a sober driver. So again, it's the same, it's a parallel. You just have to Plan ahead.
Plan ahead. That definitely. Okay, safety tips for drivers. So as we're getting into this new season, using our headlights earlier, we've touched on that. Reducing our speed, is that something we should
That
do?
is huge. That I would put that number one is speed, because you get to these intersections, people want to speed up to, they want to get past that traffic light, so they're going to go on yellow for sure. They just want to get across without stopping. So the speed goes hand in hand with patience. So we're trying to hurry to get someplace. We're impatient because we feel like we're entitled to be there. And then we forget about other people sometimes. So we need to just think about others, not just ourselves.
And just know when that light is red, red means stop.
Absolutely.
If we've forgotten this, red means stop. I see that more and more, people running red lights.
Yes, and when you are coming up to an intersection, that's when you slow down. You don't speed up. As you see the intersection, as you see the traffic light, you're slowing down. And then if there's a turning lane, you're going into this turning lane, but you're slowing down. So you're going to turn, maybe stop and turn right. Slow down when you're getting into that turning lane. I mean, we have such a congestion. We have so much traffic in Nashville right now. We really need to pay attention to everything.
I would you say this is really for any of our communities throughout Tennessee? They're all growing or seem to still be growing.
Tennessee is leaps and bounds. I mean, everywhere you look is construction because we just keep growing.
Which comes to this next one, exercising due care, really paying attention to your surroundings because of these construction sites. And there may be a lane that's blocked off, or you may not be able to turn where you normally turn, or where you remember returning the last time you made a visit to the area, right?
Right. Well, they're right across from where I work. There is they're working construction, and there's a lane one way, very clearly marked. Well, I'm going the correct way last week, and there's someone coming at me the other direction. Well, this is one lane. I can't get over. He can't get over. There's a big fence right here, so we're both stuck. Yeah. So I just stopped and waited for him to back up. I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I mean, we're in the middle, and he didn't even look at that sign. So he's going the wrong way. So we're stuck because he wasn't paying attention.
So what should we do if we find ourselves in that situation? Like, if we are and it's going one way and you have someone that's going the wrong way, is that what we should do, is just stop and,
You have to, because somebody has to back up. And I didn't, because if someone else had been coming behind me the correct way, then he's in trouble again, because the people going the correct way are going to keep him from going. So I just stopped. And I actually got out because I work right there and said, this is a one-way street, so you need to back up. So I helped him with backing up, but if he's paying attention, that doesn't happen.
Right. And I say this, I mean, I found myself in that situation. I was in a town I didn't know, and I went down the wrong way. And I was like, oh, what do I do? And I was younger. But it really brings to mind of looking at where you are, looking at the road signs, taking in your area that you're in. What else does it mean to use and exercising due care?
Due care is, and we've talked about it before, that's the paying attention to everyone else and then following the laws. You have to yield to pedestrians. That's required by law. So you need to make sure you remember that all the time. And again, you're looking out for the other guy. So you look out for them. Pedestrians, due care, you need to make sure you're looking both ways. And if you're with another pedestrian and you see that person going out, you might want to pull them back if you need to, because they're not paying attention. It's just, due care means we're trying to take care of everybody else.
All right, well, now let's talk to pedestrians. Safety tips for pedestrians when we're out and about.
Safety tips for pedestrians is, again, they need to pay it. If I could say this 1,200 times, they need to pay attention to where they are and what they're doing. You try to get across the street, go to a crosswalk. But you're at a crosswalk and you see that you have the light, you need to still pay attention to the motorists, because they have the right to turn right on red and they may not yield to you. So you're at a disadvantage. That's why they call them vulnerable road users as a pedestrian, because when there's a crash, they are the most vulnerable and they're going to lose in that crash between basically a 2-ton vehicle, which is a car, and then a human being, maybe 150 pounds. So they're going to lose if they don't pay attention. And in this case, you really have to be selfish and look out for yourself.
We are rag dolls. I mean, we could be.
Yes.
I mean, we are. If you're hit by,
absolutely.
that's what you turn into is a rag doll. Stay alert, and avoid those distractions. Is there anything else that we should know on the topic of just driving and pedestrian? Anything that's changed or anything that's new? Because I mean, people are probably like, we've said this so many times, but obviously people are still dying.
Keep saying it if people would start doing it.
Yeah.
And it is exactly the same thing. You just have to pay attention. And I will go back to that teamwork as much as I can, because you have to pay attention to each other. We have to work together.
There's no I in team.
Right.
We'll be right back. We're touching on Halloween safety for our trick-or-treaters. We'll be right back.
Being in Tennessee, we wanted to try to keep it as local as possible, so we have an entire section of our menu that is just dedicated to local whiskeys like Uncle Nearest, Jack Daniels, of course, George Dickel, Nelson Brothers, Greenbrier whiskey, and all of our taps are all local. From 2 o'clock until midnight, we've got food every day for you guys. A good handful of appetizers, some entrees, and a couple salads and things like that. My name is Ethan Vanatta. Please come down and see us at the Pick Lobby Bar here at the Omni in Nashville.
Hi, I'm Missy Acosta.
And I'm Stefanie Miller.
We're here with Community Checkup, and we would love for you to join us each month as we dive a little deeper into different organizations and events, happenings around Middle Tennessee.
You can find our Community Checkup episodes through our Main Street Media publications. Just go to the top of the page and click on How to Stream. You'll find Main Street Media TV on Apple, Amazon, and Roku. We'll also make it easy for you. Just download our mobile app, Main Street Media TV Mobile. You'll have all of our episodes right there at your fingertips.
My name is Roy, Bellman and Omni Hotel. Please come and see us.
He shoots, and he scores!
Welcome back. It's time to talk Halloween and keeping trick-or-treaters safe as they're going to get candy, because some communities still do their trick-or-treating door to door, or even they have the little little car area where all the cars pull up, they open up their trunks or whatever.
Right.
But we need to make sure the little ones are safe. That is where we are finishing up today on Streetwise. Kim, what thoughts do you have as we head into the wonderful season of Halloween?
Halloween is wonderful, but it is the highest issue of pedestrian crashes of the year that day, because we have the kids are all out because they're trying to get that candy. And it's like you said, we have the trunk or treat at
That's it, that's what, yes.
But you're going to these places. Trunk or treat means it's coming out of a car. So there are several cars around there. You have to pay attention to that. And talk about darting in traffic. These kids trying to get their candy. So they are running house to house to get this candy. So now not only do we have the kids hopped up on sugar, which is kind of what Halloween's about, and then they have this bag of candy. So their goal is to go to every single house to get as much candy as possible, and their mind is not on crossing the road safely.
We talk a lot about the city. So we talk a lot about Nashville and like our larger areas, but is this something that we need to be watching out for in our smaller communities and subdivisions out
Oh,
there?
absolutely, because that's where the trick-or-treaters are. Okay. They're in these subdivisions, but you get everybody knows when it's Halloween. So when you're a vehicle motorist, you slow down on Halloween because you know these kids are out. The kids, it's going to be harder for them to recognize it because their focus is on Halloween. It's not on driving, but that's where the parents have to come in. Don't let your kids just, here you go, go trick or treat, and not even go with them. You need to be paying attention to your kids. You need to make sure you have discussions with them. This is what could happen. This is where you need to cross. This is how you need to cross. Send them in a group. Don't send them one at a time so they can be together. But an adult needs to be with them.
Reflective gear, how important is that?
Absolutely, 100%. Something needs to be on your body that is reflective, that can be seen. At the very least, don't wear all black clothing at night because nobody can see you. So you have on Halloween, you have all of the trick-or-treaters, all of the kids, and then you can wear, if you have a phone, which most do, you put that flashlight on your phone and you are seen. Just make sure you can be seen by all these scars. And I cannot say it enough that motorists need to slow down. You should be going slow in a neighborhood anyway, but on this particular night, extra slow.
I don't know exactly what day Halloween falls on this year, but if it is, a weekend or, typically closer to the weekend, as adults, we go to our Halloween parties and we want to have a good time. But all of the things that we've talked about comes into play. Make sure you have a plan.
Right.
Get a sober driver. If we're walking to and from a friend's house, wear bright colors. Anything else that you want to make sure that we keep in our mind?
You're talking about sober driver, also ride share. And if you're going to a party and you plan on drinking, you do need to make a plan. How am I going to get home? The host needs to provide non-alcoholic beverages too for those people who want to remain sober or those who are going to remain sober. And I just keep saying party with a plan. That is our slogan of the next few months because of football season starting and everybody's getting really excited about that. So we just have to make plans.
It is a big time. This is a big time of year, football season, Halloween, the holidays, then celebrating a whole new year. 2026 is right around the corner. So much to keep in mind. But again, for all of us, both drivers and pedestrians, we share this responsibility.
Absolutely.
For you, for this time of year, what do you hear from law enforcement? Because you talk to them directly. You hear these stories. What are you hearing from them?
The law enforcement, and I do talk to them daily, and they are talking about people not paying attention. Their primary problem right now is speed, but then they also look at the pedestrians and realize that pedestrians are at fault many times because they don't pay attention and they're crossing against the light, or they're not using a crosswalk, or they're not they may be distracted on their phones, listening to music. There are so many things that can go wrong when pedestrians are making mistakes. So they are talking about the pedestrians as well. And then, like I said, the motorist speed is a problem.
Any final thoughts for this one as we head into October and looking for Halloween?
I keep saying what I've been saying. Pay attention, follow the laws, follow the lights, and make sure you're paying attention to everyone else.
And by listening to this and understanding the increased risk, you can probably not only save your life, but someone else's.
Absolutely.
Kim Vanatta, thank you so much, the Assistant Director with the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. We always appreciate your time. And until the next month, because we have a few more of these to go, we'll see you here in a few weeks.